ready to talk about. Not really, but
Mm.
Mufasa. We're going to review Mufasa now, The Lion King, the prequel to the live action sort of animated Lion King that came out a few years ago. And this one follows the start for Mufasa and how he and Scar, who are not related, became brothers, and how ultimately Mufasa became king. We are going to talk about spoilers in this. Both Sturdy and I watched this, so we both have ratings for it. But here's the thing, and I need to intro this real quick, is I didn't hate the movie. It just wasn't that good. It just wasn't that solid. All right. I have a feeling there's going to be a rant right after I'm done talking. That's why I'm just going to go first. I really liked Aaron Pierre playing the role. Like, he put a lot of passion into the voice of Mufasa. You tell he took this seriously, taking such a pivotal character that James Earl Jones, rest in peace, voiced. And I felt like he did a good job in that role. I didn't mind Mufasa's journey. There was a lot of things in it where I'm just kind of, all right. It was kind of eye rolls. So that's why, and I'm going to put up our ratings now. I was not surprised because, like I said, there's probably going to be a rant in a few. I gave it a 2 and Sturdy gave it a 1. Now, Sturdy, one of his favorite movies of all time is the original Lion King.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I'm going to let you take it away, sir.
As he said, that is my favorite movie of all time. Number 1, tied with White Fang, but that's neither here nor there right now. I didn't get any type of feeling for this movie like I did with the first one. Even the first time I watched the original, I got just like that attack, something from it. I got nothing from this movie. The music really bothered me and took me out of it, besides when they would play some of the original stuff. Other than that, I did not care. I didn't connect. I just did not care. I'm just like, please stop with the songs, because it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
The visuals, I dug the visuals. The visuals were cool. I did. Okay, so let me start with some positive. I enjoyed Rafiki a lot.
Oh, I liked Rafiki too. Yeah, I thought he was good.
I enjoyed the silliness of Timon and Pumbaa.
No, I hated it.
I just because it's how they are, so it didn't bother me.
I thought they were pointless in this movie.
I do too. There was no point in them being in this at all. It was weird to me, but they had to throw them in there. I wish they would stop. I wish they didn't interrupt as much as they did. I think if they interrupted a lot less, it would have made it funnier. It would have made it hit more. But they did a little bit too much. But that's kind of how it is with movies in this generation nowadays. They do things too much. But I just, like I said, like my biggest thing was I have such a huge personal connection, like a really strong connection with the original movie. And I didn't watch the live action one of that shit. I probably will eventually. Well, I guess I have to. But this here, it just felt like watching for me. It just felt like putting on another movie, and that just sucked. And then just again, like, I don't care about who's connected with the movie and all that. Like that doesn't bring me to the movie. I'm like, this is my favorite movie of all time, and just I still have the original, so I'm not saying this shouldn't be made or remade and all that, because I understand it's for the kids. But this, I'll probably watch this one more time in my life, and that's for popcorn and bites, and then that'll be it. And then with the live action thing, if we do it, probably do them together, and then I'll never watch those again ever in my life, because I hated this movie. Like I gave it a generous 1 because, again, I loved Rafiki. I didn't hate Mufasa. I didn't love Mufasa, but I'm not blaming the gentleman who did who acted as him. It's one of those things where I feel like, for me, you can't change the voice of Mufasa. You can't change the voice of Darth Vader. And there's just certain characters you can't change. Like, you can't change Doc in Back to the Future. You can't change Doc or Marty, or you're gonna fuck it up. In my opinion, you're gonna fuck it up. Don't change those 2 characters. Don't change them. Don't change them. Don't change them. That's how important James Earl Jones' voice is to me for those movies.
But what about this? This is a situation where
I understand it's a prequel and all that. He was younger, but still, it's just like that. I did love how they, in memory of, and they gave him that little love and the shout out. You heard his voice in the beginning of it, but it's still just like, it's just something. It's just that connection. It's just that power with it. And I understand he was younger. And that's perfectly fine. And I'm not saying the guy did a bad job, but just for me, I didn't feel anything from this.
Some of this felt like a big cash grab in a big way. Like,
1,000%.
Beyonce had 2 lines in it, and like the whole purpose was why couldn't the cub know she was pregnant?
Who was her daughter was the cub, right?
Her daughter was the cub, Kira, I think it was, played by Blue Ivy, which now I realize it was a way to have her have a part in this big movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nepotism. It is what it is. And I'm not even mad about her. I don't care. It's all over the goddamn place. But it did add this flavor of like, it kept taking me out of the story because I keep going back to Timon and Pumbaa just being silly. And this young cub who I know is Simba's kid because we just saw Simba talk about it. And then he went off and to find Naya. And it was just a part of the story that's trying. I understand it was trying to build that like Simba's about to become a father of a boy, but then they shouldn't have had Kira there. You know, like it shouldn't have been like, why have the older sister? I understand they're trying to tell like the sibling thing, but you didn't focus on the sibling thing in the movie. It was an aspect of the movie.
Yeah,
but it wasn't the main focus. And then, if anything, because it was so much not the main focus, when he comes back and gets that scar, I'm like, there was not enough drama for me to care about this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what scar we're talking about, and you'll find out how he gets it. I'm also going to say something. I understand that the Lion King, and we talked about this in the group chat.
Oh, the race thing, I hated
the race thing. I was like, what? I was like, why do they all have to be just white lions? And I'm like, I'm not even mad that that would be some sort of like plot to it, but I'm like, but it's lions, man. Like, I don't know why it, like, I like, you have a lot of people going to see this and you're very clearly trying to send a message. And I'm like, can't we just tell Mufasa the story?
It didn't make any sense. That was another thing that bothered me because it took away from the story. It took away from the importance of the story because you're doing that like for what?
No, but it also took away from building a cool villain.
Like we have, if you go back to, I'm going back to the cartoon. If you go back to the original cartoon, all the lions were the same. I mean, they had different tans, but they were all the same for the most part.
Yeah, and it's and a great point to that. But like, but even with this, like, fine, even if you're gonna make them like representation of white people, you didn't. That was it. That was what made them bad, which kind of bugged me because I'm like, Scar had in the original, he was bad, and there was levels to his bad.
Oh, Scar was,
and that's a villain. That's like a Darth Vader too. Like, you know, like all these villains that have like a lot of like story and you know, like we're really invested. These lions were just white and they didn't like any lions of other color. And I was like, but why does racism have to be our driving crux here? I mean, they're animals. Because then by the time you get to the end and it's all different animals, it's like, are we coming together? Like what? It just, the message was very muddled in the writing, and I didn't like how they added that element. And it's like, you're very clearly shoehorning a lot in here. And the reason I bring this up for anybody watching and listening or anything is not because I have a problem with white people being the villain. No, I got no problems with that. It's if there's no purpose, if there's no reason, like maybe he formed the white lions together because he was attacked as a cub or something by a different color lion that he wasn't. And then like, and it adds some some element, and I don't need a sympathy for this one, but a background of why he's gathering. And then like, because I think that would have added the element of Mufasa and his trying to bring people together, maybe trying to reason with them and be like, it doesn't have to be this way, you know?
And a lot of times when you see like, especially, well, maybe not. Well, I think so with lions. I know with a lot of wild animals, if you see like a white, like a pure white animal, it's usually albino and they're very, very rare. You don't see a whole fucking thing of, I'm not 100% sure with cats because I know cats are different.
Yeah.
But I mean, 90% of the lions I see are the tannish color. So it was an unnecessary element in my opinion. And it was something else that just kind of took me out of the story. It's like, what's the point? If anything, if you're going to do that, it should have been mixed up groups.
And just so I don't get lambasted for having brought that up, again, I don't mind if the villain was white in this. Is like a representation of white people. It's that you didn't fill out the gaps of like how this came to be. You didn't,
so threw two different colors together.
Make them, but don't do it and say thinly failed racism. Like, go all in.
Yeah.
You know, make them really bad. And then I'm in. Like, but like, not just these hunters who are like, we don't like you because you're different. Like, legit make them bad. And then Mufasa looks even stronger for it, in my opinion. But that's where, like, when I watch these movies, it's like, oh my God, I don't care that you're making this the crux or the reason, but make it interesting. you know?
Make it make sense. Make it get you in the feels in one way or another, whether it be anger, whether it be upset, whether it be whatever. Make it not in the feels of just like, oh fuck, because you don't care, you know, when's the movie going to be over? More so in the feels, like how the original hits me in the feels because I love that movie so much.
Yep. Oh yeah, you know it's a great movie that does it really well.
Speak No Evil, the original, will pull some stuff out of you. That's why I
Oh,
love
that
it.
would 100% pull some stuff out of you. But this one is a little bit more absurd, and that is Sorry to Bother You. If you don't get a chance, go check that out. That's a little mixed movie pick for you on this one. But Mufasa, The Lion King, that's our ratings for it. I gave it a 2. Sturdy gave it a 1. It just, again, it wasn't interesting, and I wish it was, because that original Lion, God, that was so interesting. It's just truly wonderful. And another thing I didn't like is that Scar in this is like almost kind of albino too. And I have to go back and watch the live action. I keep thinking about the cartoon, but didn't he have like a black mane?
Scar was tannish and he had a black mane. Yeah.
I don't even care about the tannish side. I just feel like
So
have
a black mane.
a black mane. I assume because Scar plays such like a wimpy character in this, then who gets darker as they go. That's why they kind of like tried to associate him with the albino.
Yeah.
But that's not who I remember. So like it was just like I was kind of thrown off a little bit. But
Scar kind of reminds me of Jafar in a sense, or vice versa. Whatever one came out first, but they're very, very similar. They're very sinister. They're weak in your face, but behind your back, they're tough as nails, and they're smart as hell. Very cunning and conniving.
You ain't kidding. So, any last thoughts about Mufasa before we move on?
No, I'm gonna try to behave.
Thank you. Yeah, we dropped enough on this week's episode of the podcast. So I would say this is Mufasa. I'd say maybe wait till it comes out on Disney Plus, which will probably be next month. I don't think you need to rush out and see this one. But and honestly, anybody who's watching or listening, tough shit. Like,
and listen,
do better.
I have an important PSA to all you parents out there. Show your children the 1994 version of The Lion King before you show them any of this other nonsense, please. Angela Yee has never seen this original movie, and she's watched these two, which I don't understand because she's older than I am. Angela Yee, you need to watch the original Lion King. All right,
you heard it here first. But we appreciate you guys watching and listening to this. If you're watching this as a clip, you can go check out the full episode, podcast, all 9, or on the YouTube channel. But so there's a new one coming out. We're very excited for that. And also, 2 of the classic film reviews are movies from that franchise to coincide with what we're doing. I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun. Thank you guys so much. We truly appreciate you. Remember to follow for more. Check out the Scene Snobs. And remember, be kind to each other because that's so important. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Just anything. Just be kind and go out and be good people. And let's start 2025 off right. I love you guys. And until next time, I'm Mick Manhattan. Take care of yourselves.
Peace.